What is going on, guys? You know here, back again with another video, and this is a very different video. If you guys pretty much look at my community posts, where I post a little bit here and there, do some polls and stuff like that, and post information about anything that's upcoming, or just post whatever I want. This recent post, I put a tier list of mangas on here, and I just wanted to see, like, hey, I wonder what y'all think. And while I was going through the comments, I was like, you know what, I'll just make this a video. Try to go through my thought process of what explaining where I put where and why I put it there. Now, as you can see, the bottom is full of series I didn't read yet. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of these I've only watched, whereas just read. And like Hunter x Hunter, I've only watched Hunter x Hunter. I didn't read it. Fire Force, I only watched Fire Force instead of read it. So these are everything that's on the tier list is strictly manga. It's just strictly manga. So I'm probably just going to start from the bottom up and just explain, why I put it there. Fairy Tail is an F. I just do not like Fairy Tail. I try to get into it. When I usually pick up volumes and I start reading it like that, versus before I started the channel. And with Fairy Tail, I give each manga at least 3 volumes for me to get into it. I cannot get into Fairy Tail at all. I tried my best. I pushed far for Fairy Tail. Even watched it and I was just like, this is not what I like. I don't like this series at all. So that's why it's an F tier. I don't care for the characters. I don't care for anything in the series. Another F is Seven Deadly Offenders. I just don't think the series is good whatsoever. That's why these two are at F. Now, D tier, it could be a little controversial. I know we're going to get more controversial the higher we go. D tier, Bakuman. I thought Bakuman was an okay series, but nothing grabbed me. I think I did like the behind the scenes of the manga world, but I just didn't care for it. Nothing brought me back to this series at all. Another one. This is a manga that came out a while ago called Ghost Paradox. I think Ghost Rider Paradox, something like that. I forget what the actual title is. This series is okay for the first volume, and then it started getting like interesting. It's about a guy who's part of Shonen Jump, and he's been trying to get his series published in Shonen Jump, and then one day he gets a manga in a microwave from the future, and he read one of the best stories he ever read, and next thing you know, the manga is disappeared. The manga is gone. So he was like, you know what, this might have been a dream of mine, so let me write the manga. He wrote the manga, and everyone loved it. They was like, we're not even doing a one shot, we're publishing this right off the bat. And it turns out, after he published it, everyone loved it. He started getting anime deals and stuff like that. Then someone comes up to him and is like, hey, I was writing this story. So that's very weird that our stories are very similar. That's very weird because that manga was from the future. I thought it was a good read. It tries to make a hero of the main character when he's obviously doing plagiarism, which I'm personally against. But I thought it was a good read for what it was. But again, it's nothing, oh my god, this is great. It was like bare minimum. It's under the average for what I expect. Boruto, same thing. Boruto does have a good amount of good. The thing with Boruto is when it's good. It's really good. But when it's bad, it takes a crazy nosedive. I didn't like the code arc at all. I know a lot of people like that. I didn't like the code arc. The Jigen stuff was great. What's currently happening right now, I think it's pretty good. I didn't read the 2 Blue Vortex yet. I'm probably going to save that for a few chapters and might do reactions for it if I hear some good things about it later down the line. So we'll see. Dragon Ball Super, same thing. I feel like Dragon Ball, honestly, it honestly should have ended after Frieza. Now, personally, I like my favorite arc in the series is the Cell arc, which is of course after Frieza, as far as I know. But Dragon Ball Super is just it doesn't really add much to the story that we've already been given. Now, As far as the manga, because I'm just going strictly off of manga, I did like the moral arc. I thought that was a interesting arc, and I thought it was different. It really took a step further of what Dragon Ball could be, as far as like as far as growing Goku as a character, where he usually, you know, he holds on to stuff and fights with that holding on, fights with what he has on his heart. Whereas the moral arc was like, hey, you should just let go, let things be, which I thought that was a great. Vegeta needs the respect that he deserves, and it's just like constantly he doesn't get it. So I need Dragon Ball Super to do something with that. Frieza Black, I think is cool. Anything in future, like, but these are technically not the manga, the anime. But like superhero, I loved superhero. I loved Broly. I love Resurrection F. So Dragon Ball Super could be great, but it's being held back, and I don't know what's being held back by. Now, Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone is okay. Before anything, let me describe C tier. C tier is what I expect from Shonen Jump. Like, these are not bad at all. These are just like this. When I see shonen, these are what I expect. It doesn't go above the bar for shonen. It doesn't go under it at all. It's like, yes, this is shonen. That's why I put the stuff that's in C tier. Dr. Stone is so far from what I've experienced is in C tier. Now, I put the manga in C tier because I think the anime is much better than the manga. I like that they switched the main characters to Senku. Because in the beginning of the series, I think it was his best friend. I forget his name. His best friend. He was the main character, and I didn't really care for him. Once they switched the main character to Senku, I thought it was great. I was like, this is great. But again, the anime brings it much better. It brings everything out much better than the manga does. I enjoy reading it versus. I enjoy watching it versus reading it. I do have the first volume. Yeah, I do have the first volume. I'll probably read it eventually to see, all that. Black Clover. Now, Black Clover, again, it is the perfect description of what a shonen should be. That's why I think Black Clover belongs to C. This is the best tier for Black Clover. Now, again, when Black Clover does something well, it does it good. When it does something bad, we can see it lacking. What I will say about Black Clover is that there's a lot of stuff in Black Clover that really, how can I put it? That can be expanded on, but I feel like the series is afraid to expand on. Like, it was one point where Asta said he wants to build a world where elves and humans could live together in peace, and Yami just completely disregarded it. And I was like, that's kind of unfair. I wanted to see, like, Asta was growing, and we kind of like got pulled back from that. It was really unfair because I really want to see Asta change the system. I mean, he's already changed the system with him not being like. With him like not having magic, but change the system within more like having all races come together. Blue Exorcist. Now, the reason why this is in C tier is strictly because this is strictly my fault. I expected greatness from. I mean, it's still a great series. Blue Exorcist is still a great series, but I expected more from it, and I put this series in a tier where I thought it could have been better, where I expected much better from it, and I feel like I was let down. So it's my fault why that's in C tier. Mashle again, a perfect shonen, like a perfect description of what shonen can be. This is above Black Clover because I have a lot more fun with this series than I did with Black Clover. The comedy works in Mashle a lot better. I guess the action is a little bit better than Black Clover. It might be neck and neck with Black Clover as far as action. Demon Slayer. Now, I know Demon Slayer is a huge series. It's a huge series. But it's a very average story. Black Clover, not Black Clover. Demon Slayer is a very average story. The anime, however, is an S tier. The anime is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But as a manga, I don't get that emotional stake that I get from the anime. And that's what brings the manga down. Now, after I watched season 1, funny that if you guys were here before the new channel, this is the second attempt at the channel. If you guys were here, I did a watch through of Demon Slayer on the channel, finishing season 1, then watching the movie. After the movie, I started reading the manga, and again, that emotional pull wasn't as strong as it was in the anime. I also think the strongest arc in Demon Slayer was the Entertainment District arc. be a manga. Entertainment District arc was very good. I thought it was very good. Then the anime took that and put it on another level. So again, Demon Slayer is a very average series, but because of how good the anime is, it's like it just takes it to another level. Whereas Demon Slayer to me is just a C. It's a very average series. Above that, we have Kaiju number 8. Kaiju number 8, I really like. The action is great. The art is great. I just think it could do better with getting in depth with the stories, which I'll give it credit. The current arc is doing now is diving deeper into the characters, like especially with Kafka. The thing with Kafka is that we know one of his motivations is standing beside his friend Mina or Ashira. I think it's Mina. And we don't get much interaction with them at all. I remember, I think it was one chapter where we got them interacting with each other, and then that was it. And I think that's a little bit crazy, especially with that being his motivation, to stand beside Mina as they're taking out the kaijus. Now, we are on B tier. So, with Promised Neverland, I would put it high C, low B. It's a very... it's interchangeable. It could be either or. The thing I put it, the reason why I put it in high C is because the first two arcs, the escape from the orphanage and the Goldie Pond arcs were so good. And then the series just took a nose. It fell off the hardest. I'd never seen a fall off so hard, other than Tokyo Revengers. I never seen a fall off so hard when it came to a series like this, because it was so good. It was absolutely good. People were calling it the next Death Note, which I understand, but it just took a drop off and quality for me. Assassination Classroom. I can't really explain why I have it in B. I just really enjoyed this series more than I expected. I think it just surpassed my expectations for what it was. I think it's mainly because I expected more school stuff, and then when we got to that one arc where they were on the island, it just like literally blew my mind. It's like, oh, okay, this is what I want to see more of. Undead Unluck. Before migrating to this new channel, I used to do reactions to Undead Unluck, and mild spoilers for Undead Unluck. I think Undead Unluck was great before the loop. I stopped reading it after the spring arc, and then it just got weird. It was like, okay, everything is happening. Like too much was happening too fast. And then after the loop, I was like, okay, I'm not liking where it's going so far. There's also the spring arc. I expected a big war arc, and I didn't get that. I didn't get that at all. Which, I mean, it's totally my fault for having that expectation in my mind. And yeah, I can't blame a series for meeting an expectation that I made up. That's all on me. So Undead Unluck is in B because it still has some great stuff in it. I didn't like the first 3 chapters. I was like, yeah, I'm not into this. Then I got back into it and I was like, okay, I can dig it. The power system was cool. The abilities were cool. What they do with immortality in the series is absolutely amazing. Mission Yozakura Family. This is a hidden gem in Shonen. If you're not into this is a hit. And I'm shocked it doesn't get talked about much. I was thinking about doing reactions for it on my channel, but I just read it personally because it's a fun series to read. But yeah, Mission Yozakura is a B to me. My Hero. In a perfect world, My Hero would be an A tier. But I think we've all know the recent things that's been happening in My Hero, and I think it started with like right after the Paranormal Liberation War arc. That magic started losing itself. I did like the direction of the Rogue Deku arc and the Villain Hunt arc, but that could have been expanded a lot more. I think the problem is it's like it has so much potential and so many directions it can go, but My Hero doesn't take that route. It doesn't take that route, which it sets itself up for disappointment, sadly, because there's a lot of depth we could go into. I already said in mild spoilers, already said in the current arc that's going on, we should have had that heteromorph arc way earlier on. We should have had that way earlier on, or at least more seeds planted into it to have this resolution resolved, because it felt like that arc just hopped into this war arc and they just took it and like opened it and wrapped it up within that many chapters. And I felt like I was like, okay, nah, this isn't as great as it should be. Now with the All Might and All for One fight, we're seeing those gems. We're seeing Horikoshi go to work. Also, because Horikoshi health, that's probably one of the reasons why it can't be expanded to where it is. Whereas Black Clover, because it's now shifting magazines, it could probably grow a little bit more versus My Hero. Haiku was one of the first sports anime I've gotten into, or the sports manga I've gotten into. I watched sports anime, and the problem with sports anime is like I hate the hyper unrealisticness of it, where it's like they're charging spirit bombs and like slam dunking them. Kuroko's Basketball is a cool series. I just couldn't get into it that much, whereas Haiku felt very grounded, and I think that's what made it work for me. Haiku being very grounded and then teaching me about volleyball, getting me more interested about volleyball. I think that's where its strength is really at. Also, the characters. Hinata is an amazing main character in the series. He really carries the series to where if he's gone, you can feel it. I think that's also the problem with Haiku. So I put it in the B. Air Gear. If you guys haven't read Air Gear, this is gas. I thought the anime was gas, and I felt like the inclusion of the anime, they definitely had more. So I looked up and they saw they had a manga, and I was read it, and it's absolutely incredible. Air Gear is really good, but there's really nothing to say. Air Gear is great. Death Note could have been an S tier. It could have been an S tier, and I think what the problem was L's death. After L died, the series, it felt like it was dragging. Not saying it wasn't good. It was still good, but it wasn't the same once L died. It wasn't the same at all. Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z is a B tier. It is, we gotta give it credit. It is like one of the grandfathers of shonen, of anime, of like, it's a pinnacle in the anime system. Dragon Ball Z is great, but you could tell it was supposed to end somewhere and it didn't. That's the main problem with Dragon Ball Z. It was supposed to end that Frieza arc, and then the Cell arc, it's just like you could tell it was like you could just tell it didn't feel as authentic as the build up from the Saiyan arc to the Namek arc to all that. Yu Yu Hakusho is an awesome series. I feel like I need to reread it. It's more inspirational to current gen than people give it credit for, which is crazy. And yeah, I don't think people give Yu Yu Hakusho enough credit. So yeah, Dragon Ball. I like Dragon Ball way more than Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball is so good. I need to buy the box set for those so I can read those over. Dragon Ball was so good. So good. It was so much fun to read and all that. So that's an A tier. Spy Family. Before I created the channel, even before I created the first channel, the only series I was really reading on Shonen Jump was My Hero and Black Clover. Those were the only two series I was reading. Then I was like, you know what? I should expand more. I should try to read more. And the first series I picked up was Spy Family. I didn't expect how great this series was. The art was great. The story was great. The characters were fantastic. This really kind of revived that love for manga to me. In fact, if it wasn't for Spy Family, I probably wouldn't have started YouTube in the first place. That's just plain and simple. Chainsaw Man. Now, let me handle the Dark Trio right now. Chainsaw Man is in last place. We got Jujutsu Kaisen in second, Hell's Paradise in first. Chainsaw Man is so good. I love Chainsaw Man so much. The unpredictability of it is incredible. It really takes shonen and pushes it to a place where it has never been before. I can't really think of a negative for Chainsaw Man, but I can't justify it going in S tier. I don't have anything to say that would put it in S tier for me. That's just me personally. And I won't do the Dark Tree. I won't handle the Dark. I'll do Sakamoto Days. So Sakamoto Days and Jujutsu Kaisen, those could be interchangeable. I've been saying this since the gate, from the gate. Sakamoto Days and Jujutsu Kaisen are A1, AB. Like, those are the top 2 series I feel like in Shonen Jump that they have currently. Both of them bring intensity, and they're both different enough to bring a certain variety to it. Where if these were the only 2 series I've been reading in Shonen Jump, I wouldn't feel like a burnout of these shonen tropes, if that makes sense. Jujutsu Kaisen, come on. It is fantastic. Gege is a mastercraft. The Shibuya arc alone, I would say, put it in A tier. I really like how Gege dives into side characters as well. Like, I didn't expect Maki to get much attention. I didn't expect Gojo to get much attention. I didn't expect Megumi to get this much attention. But he gives it to us, and it makes us feel like we can have a story without Yuji in it. And I think that's what's so great about Jujutsu Kaisen. Hell's Paradise, again, the same thing with characters. Like how side characters are pretty much brought to life. I really like the pacing of Hell's Paradise the most out of the Dark Trio. And I'll probably make a video talking about, I do have a script for the Dark Trio, a script for a Dark Trio video coming up probably within the next couple weeks or so. But I think Hell's Paradise is the strongest out of the 3. Then we got the big 3. We got One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach. The thing about these, now we see, like, usually when you make a tier list, the one above, ahead of the others is like the best. These could be interchanged at any given day. Naruto, I have the most relationship with. Bleach will be the second one I have the most relationship with, then One Piece. Now with One Piece, I'm only on Thriller Bark. I'm not caught up. I mean, I know about everything that's going on, especially in Wano. I can't stop hearing about it. But One Piece was like, if you've seen the live action One Piece video, it took me 7 volumes to really get into it. I would have dropped it if I didn't buy the box set for One Piece. But because I bought it, I was like, look, I'm getting my money's worth. And once volume 7 hit, I was like, okay, I can dig this. I enjoy it a lot. Naruto, my God, Naruto was my gateway. Naruto is my gateway anime. So, like I said, one day is Bleach, one day is Naruto ahead of me, and right now, today, Naruto's ahead of Bleach. So, I'll do this the favor and put it right there. Because I'm not as far into One Piece as the others. I'm giving what I read in One Piece the credit. Enies Lobby, Water 7, Alabasta, great. I even like Skypiea, and I know a lot of people that hate Skypiea. I enjoy Skypiea for what it was. I know people really hate that, but Skypiea was a fun read to me. Alabasta arc was great. Crocodile is such a cool character. Water 7, Enies Lobby was mind blowing. It's up there to me for classes on like Frieza arc, the Chimera Ant arc. I only watched Hunter x Hunter. I didn't read it, so that's why you guys don't see it on. Pain arc. It is up there with some of the greatest shonen arcs in history. But I think it's just my relation to One Piece is not as strong as Naruto and Bleach, which is why it is lower today. But if you get me on a tangent talking about Enies Lobby and Water 7, it will be above Naruto. Bleach, I personally think had the best opening arc. It had the best opening arc out of the 3. And then we had the Soul Society arc, which was great. The Rancor arc pacing is god awful, and it almost felt like a rehash to the Soul Society arc because it was literally copy and paste. But I can't deny some of the greatness that arc had, like Yokiora, Grimjaw, Aizen. It's crazy. It is crazy. The Fullbrank arc is when it took a nosedive. Rereading it, I liked it better than I did when I was reading it weekly. And then the 1,000 Year Blood War arc started so good, and then I felt like it almost did a Promised Neverland for me, where it just dropped out of nowhere. And even though I'm not counting the anime in this, the anime is like getting me to reread the arc again, and I'm appreciating the Thousand Year Blood War a lot more. But yeah, with Big Three, I might do a video like I did with Dark Trio with the Big Three, so I'll go in a little bit more depth. Blue Lock above the Big Three. Now that could be controversial, and the reason it could be controversial is because I'm still on the high of Blue Lock. I'm still in the parts where I'm like, this is so freaking good. Now, I know some people are talking about they didn't spoil it for me, but they put like, yeah, you know, Asagi becomes like this, and then like things like this happens where it doesn't push the throttle as much. But I can't deny the second chapter, I was like, yeah, this is great. And then we had like I'll be making a video of like my top matches in Blue Lock coming up soon, and just thinking about some of those matches, and when I was writing the script and rereading them, I was like, God, this is blowing my mind. It's absolutely blowing my mind. Then the U20 match, it's still going on the channel right now, but at this point in time, I'm past that. And God, that was such a good match. It was so intense, and I think it's mainly because I'm on the higher Blue Lock. That's why it's an A tier for me. And yes, it's a bias, but I got it. You know, I'm gonna just let that cook. I'm gonna just let that cook where I'm at right now. If it gets lower, yeah, I'll gladly replace it. Attack on Titan. Now, the main reason why it's not an S tier, it could easily be an S tier. This could be the greatest series known to man. But that ending was horrible. Horrible. I hated that ending in Attack on Titan. And the thing with Attack on Titan, it had everything placed perfectly to be the perfect series. The foreshadowing is on such a level where foreshadowing in the series needs to be studied. It needs to be studied because of how strong they really do this in the series. And oh my God, even when there's just nothing is happening, where there's no action happening and they're just talking, I still like love it. Now, I remember reading Attack on Titan and I dropped it. I dropped it because I got to a point where it was a flashback and a time skip that happened around the same portion. And I was just reading it. Like, it was just a day where I was just reading Attack on Titan, and then a time skip and a time skip and a flashback happened within the same period of time, and I got so confused that I just stopped reading it. Then when I think season 4 part 2, I was like, all right, let me read it again, and I was like, yeah, this is so good, and I got excited for the ending, and that was a crash and burn. And then S tier, the 3-4 S tier, Soul Eater. If you have not read Soul Eater, please do yourself a favor. I love this series. This is one of my favorite mangas. Soul Eater is so good in the manga, and the anime was such a letdown. Then I was like, you know what, let me start reading it because I wanted to experience it again. But where I was at the time, I was no, I read it like a while back. I think I was in school or something. Yeah, I think I was in school and I started reading it. Yeah, I think I was in school and I started reading it. I was like, you know, yeah, this is cool. And oh my God, Soul Eater it's an amazing manga. It's an amazing manga. I'm probably gonna do a reread of that because it's so good. It's so good. Samurai Champloo, one of my favorite series of all time. I'll probably put it in my top 10 for favorite series. Mugen as a character he's one of my favorite characters. He's one of my goats. He's up there with Spike. Spike is my favorite anime character of all time. Mugen is up there with him. And then to top it off as, I feel like no one can argue this at all. Full Metal Alchemist is a goddamn masterpiece. I'm reading the new series that she wrote, the mangaka wrote, Demons of I forgot what it was called. But I just picked up the first volume. The second volume actually might be coming today. for me. I think it just released, and I ordered it on Amazon. But I had the first volume of that. I'll probably be reading it. Maybe I'll make a video on it, depending on how much I like it. But Full Metal Alchemist is so good. It is so good. Everything was the pacing, the storytelling, how they introduce things, how they introduce the power system, the characters. Everything in Full Metal Alchemist is literally second to none. Literally second to none. And I know we're talking about manga for this, but when it comes to the anime, there's parts of Full Metal Alchemist versus Brotherhood that I like better. I like what they did with the homunculus in Full Metal Alchemist versus what they did in Brotherhood. And granted, Brotherhood is still a great series. It's still probably one of the best anime out. But I think it's nice to get those two stories and see how they split apart, and like you can still make connections with them. But yeah, that's my whole explanation of these tier lists. I do got more tier list videos coming up, but I just threw this out because I was bored one night, and then I was like, you know what, let me throw it on the post. And I got more comments than I expected, so I was like, you know what, I'll make a video on it. But yeah, if you guys want to see more videos like this, let me know. I don't mind doing it. This was very fun to talk about, to explain why I put what where. And if you want to see me make a tier list to put it on the post, let me know which tier list you want to see, and I can do that. But yeah, if you guys want to see more, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification, that way you'll know when it's out. If you like this video, give it a like. If not, give it a dislike. Doesn't really matter to me. If you want to see more of me, catch me out on Twitter. And if you know, you know. And until then, you know where to find you know.